Oh, breaking news.
In game real time, it's hard to make that bang bang call 100%. Welcome back to another episode of Saturday Sliders. It's been a slow off season, but we're diving straight into some free agent signings, surprise trades, and all the moves shaking up the league. After that, we're breaking down what the Giants and Blue Jays need to stay competitive heading into 2026. I'm Almar. I've got Armando with me. Let's talk baseball.
Thanks, Omar. And let's go around the bases.
Around the bases.
Well, like you said, it's a pretty slow off season so far. But we got the 2025 MLB Major League Baseball awards with the four biggest awards. Detroit Tigers, Scuba winning his second Cy Young Award back to back years. First time since Pedro Martinez did it in 1999 and 2000. Paul Skeens won his first Cy Young Award, and Shohei Ohtani winning his fourth MVP award, uh, fourth of the last 5 years. Two in American League, two in the National League now. If we didn't say this before, he's truly a unicorn. And Aaron Judge winning his third award, MVP award, beating out Kyle Rowley, and not a close race at all, what everybody thought. But he's the 13th player to win, has winning three MVPs awards. Did the voters get it right, Omar?
First of all, congratulations to all the winners on the major awards this year. But there's been a ton of debate here, Armando, about the AL MVP this year, and I get it. I get why. It wasn't a clean one, like you said. Obvious choice, like some seasons, like the voters, right? Kyle Raleigh hitting 60 home runs as a catcher is insane. That alone puts him in a completely different tier. But when you look past the home runs, Judge had him beat in almost every major offensive category. And at the end of the day, that's what what's the MVP now has become a statistical award. It's not about most demanding position like everyone say. I know we know catching is the most difficult position there is in baseball, but if it was catchers would be winning MVP every decade now. So for me, the numbers clearly pointed to George, even with Rally's monster season. Now, for the NL, that one's easy. Shohei's award to lose, Armando. The only way anyone's beating Shohei is if they put up absolutely astronomical numbers, and even then, you're probably still finishing second. Him having an average year by his standards still better than most guys' career season. So yeah, NL was straightforward. AL, a fun debate, but for me, the voters got it right.
Yeah, I agree with you with Judge. When you look past the home runs, Aaron Judge, he was putting historic numbers, average, RBIs, on base percentage. He was pretty much a complete package. And the fact is, he's getting better over time. Like when he's in his 30s, a lot of players start decreasing, especially power hitters. But Aaron Judge is getting better. Um, so I think they got it right. I think the only thing, I think for sure, I'll say things about Shohei. That's impressive. Four MVPs already. He's a young. Uh, Barry Bonds won seven MVPs. People, I've heard it all my life. That record will never be broken. No one's gonna win seven MVPs no more. Shohei is within reach. He needs three more to tie, and he's young. He has a chance, and the way it looks, like the way you said, it's for him to lose in the next 5, 7 years. It's within that reach, and uh, there's There's not. The only thing negative is that he plays for the Dodgers. That's all it is.
I'm
But
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure once Shohei comes close to that 7 MVPs, your San Francisco will 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 have a heyday with it. So
yeah, exactly. So it's hard not to cheer for him, But I think the Scooball, it's impressive. I have not voters got it right. I think the only one that is debatable is Paul Skeens. The voters said with him winning this the award, the voters are saying it's not your fault that you play for a lousy organization. It doesn't matter if you didn't get run support, which he didn't. He had 13. I think he had the stat is that he had in 13 games starts. He had a 0-0. He had no run support going into the seventh inning, and I believe he lost 7 of those. Like the team lost. That's how crazy it is. Like he had no run support and he had no written record, but the voters are saying it's not your fault. It's not on you. We see the hustle. We see the dominant pitcher you are. So we're still going to vote for you. Um, Despite a lot of people are thinking the Sanchez out of the Phillies, who had better quality starts, better numbers, you might not better numbers like strikeouts, but better quality starts and um, yeah, like a lot of people, voters, well, a lot of fans are saying like, well, media are saying like Sanchez should have been a lot closer, but Sanchez only got 150 less votes, total votes. So like the fact that he won it unanimous, it's a little. I'm not really sure what the word, but it should have been a lot closer.
well, Paul's case is the next face off MLB. So
Yeah.
so they're gonna do everything for Paul's case, but. This is not a a take against Polskis. He had tremendous years, but like you said, the win loss records, we don't see that now with the pitchers because they get taken out early, so
Mhm.
we won't see like 20 game winners now most often. So the what was Freak's record when he won the Cy Young, right? He was like
14 and
500, right?
14.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
14
So
14. Yeah.
yeah, win loss records. It's gonna matter what team you're playing, but if the strikeouts and the ERA is there and the whips, you'll definitely have a chance to win the Cy Young. But like you said, Sanchez had a good case with winning that Cy Young award. But Paul Skins is the new face of MLB now, so
Well, yeah, you're 100% there. You're 100% right. Not only is he the face of baseball, but he might be the face of the Yankees pretty soon. So,
hey, don't even put that on your mouth.
exactly.
Get out of here. That's too early for that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's just rumors. That's what I'm
Yeah.
hearing. All right. Well, let's go with the second topic. It's a free agent market. Everybody's talking about it. There's rumors. There's the track top 50 free agents. Well, what is intriguing you more about this free agent year?
The pre-agent is really slow right now, but this one dropped just today. Marcus Simeon gets shipped to the Mets, and Brandon Nemo goes to Texas. I mean, what I just want to get this out of the way. What are the Rangers doing, Armando? They're acting like a team rebuilding, but they're not really rebuilding. It's like they're moving money around, not actually moving the franchise forward. So you trade a good second baseman, but you take back a veteran outfielder on a long contract. It's a weird money in money out vibe that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for the Rangers and for the Mets. Look, this is a classic Stephen Cohen move. He sees a star available, he grabs the stars. Simeon gives them leadership, power, and durability. Everything they've been lacking. So, but for the Texans, this is what my concern is. It feels like they're drifting without a direction. I told you about this. They won the World Series in 2023, and now suddenly they're tearing all the pieces apart. If you're rebuilding, I mean, just rebuild. If you're going all in, or go all in, but this moves somewhere in the middle. So, and that's part of why I'm confused about this move for the Rangers.
Yeah, well, back in 2 years ago, back in 2023, where Bochy led the Rangers, they had a 1 year window. Like they didn't have a two, three. The organization Bochy even knew I think Bochy only signed a 3 year contract, right? So their window was small and it was there. So they went all in, and now they're kind of like now they have to deal with that, right? With long contracts, big money contracts, right? So they're moving money around, right? So this is sadly, that is actually what today's sports is. The Rams did it the same way. They started trading all their draft picks because they were like, "Hey, we have a 1 year window," and slowly, yeah, like they rebuilt pretty fast. They rebuilt the Rams, Los Angeles Rams. They rebuilt uh, quite fast, but it did hurt because I think they missed the playoffs like once or 2 years in a row, and then there was dealing being around the 500 mark. But they with the few picks that they had, they were smart, right? So I'm not. Uh, that is still to be shown what the Rangers will do. Maybe they have those players within house. Who knows? But that is what today's sports is. You go when you have a window, you go all in.
Yeah, but it's tougher in baseball to if you go all in, because like you said, the Rams went all in, but they still like in the furious time you'll still have that draft picks. But now in baseball, you trade prospects, not draft picks, so
Right.
you're not really getting like a top end prospects if you're like trading good players, right? So but like you said, hopefully they have like something planned. Like I don't know what their plan is right now, but it's really confusing.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't. We talked about like organization, so I don't get it. I think as a baseball brand, you have a you need to keep your fans happy. Like right, you have an obligation to, hey, this is the people are coming to watch, spending money in our ballparks, buying our brand. They have a it's a if they want to keep fans coming in, you have to do something. You have to put a product out there, right? So like, I'm not a fan where organizations just tank and just rebuild, and then they're okay if they have like three bad seasons with no fans in the stands, as long as they once every 10 years they go on a run and they fill up their stands, and that's good enough. I don't think so. I think it should be you should be always putting a good product out there in the field for your fans who are loyal.
Yep, and they just had they have a new ballpark.
Yeah.
So like
It's
so
oil
that,
money,
that,
man.
that I know. Yeah, but I just want to get that out of the way because
Yeah.
it just broke. So but the one, like, to answer your question with the free agents, one signing that I really like was the Josh Naylor signing with the Mariners. That's a move that just makes sense on every level here, Armando.
Right.
You're talking about a legit power bat, a guy who brings energy, swagger, and some real edge to that lineup. Seattle needed a hitter who can chase a game with one swing, and
Hmm.
Naylor fits that perfectly. I like that signing.
Well, he had a good playoff run too, so well deserved contract. And you're right. I like that move. I think the Mariners did a perfect sign in, right? And I think what I like about this is the Mariners didn't just say like we're not content or like, oh, we were one game away from the World Series. Like, no, you have to build up and you have to build on that momentum, right? So you don't you're not satisfied or comfortable for being so close. Like you keep building, keep adding to make your team better so you can get to the ultimate goal. So I really like this. For me, a couple signings that I like is Cubs pitcher. He opted out. Uh, Umanaga, he opted out, but then he reached an agreement with the Cubs. That's another organization that I think they're adding pieces to build for the future to keep that momentum. And a lot of people have in saying that, a lot of people are thinking like, well, Kyle Tucker, where is he going to go? I just don't see Kyle Tucker going somewhere else. I think this is just kind of like the bargaining agreement. Like this is kind of like both parties talking. I think ultimately he will be staying with the Cubs. That's just what I think because I it's just the way my biased opinion, but I think it's just you keep adding, you keep building what you have right now, and the Cubs have been the last 2 years, 3 years around the wild card. Uh, Always going to the last week to see if they're going to make it. They were in first place most of the years this year, right? It was between there and the Brewers. So to me, it's like you don't just sit back. You build on that momentum.
Yeah, this is what's been going on with baseball lately because Kyle Tucker got traded last off season
Hmm.
from the Astros to the Cubbies. Now he's a free agent, and Cubs they must re-sign Kyle Tucker. This is like a Juan Soto kind of thing, right? That's why I don't like the news breaking like Tigers are trying to like are listening to trade offers for Tariq Skubal, right? I think if you're getting a player of that caliber for just 1 year and he leaves,
Hmm.
then it leaves your team like bare. Like
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
the Yankees were able to recover from Soto, but I'm not sure if Kyle Tucker when Kyle Tucker goes somewhere else, if Cubbies can replace Kyle Tucker's number, right? That's difficult for the Cubs because Yankees had Aaron Judge still, right? So but
Yeah.
Cubbies doesn't really have that power
Yeah.
back
Exactly. Right. You're
behind
gonna
Kyle
go
Tucker.
back in the
Yeah, so
bottom
yeah.
of the basement. We're like, why? Like you've been building up or having momentum the last 2 seasons. You have to make sure that Tucker is still there when it comes to the 2026 season. Um, I think the two players that I'm actually kind of paying attention is the two new Japanese players, free agents. We had a right-hander pitcher, Imaye, and third baseman Munetaka, third baseman power hitter from Japan. To me, okay, like do baseball organizations do they just kind of give a blank check to this Japanese players now? We've seen the resume now. We've seen Otani, Umonaka, like we just talked about, Roki, right? Like all these Japanese are coming in, being the face of a franchise right away, or being a part of a championship team roster and competing right away. So do uh, do the U.S. market or Canadian market say like, you know what, we've seen the resume now, we're just gonna give you this long contract, 5, 10 years, 7 years, 100 plus million, or should we say still like, no, you know what, we don't think Asian ball players can still compete, and you still have to prove it. But then we're pretty much the Dodgers are just Japan is the farm team of the Dodgers, right? So how do you see this? That's why I'm kind of interested in those two players.
The one concern that we had for Japanese players, especially the Japanese pitchers, is their longevity rate. So if they can actually pitch for a long period of time, because we see the dominance. We've seen Otani pitch. We've seen Roki pitch now. We've seen a lot of Japanese pitchers really grinding in. But I like Tatsuya Imai.
Yeah,
He's a power pitcher. He's a power pitcher, so every team will be lining up to sign him. I think he'll go around like 150, maybe low end 200 million. I don't know how many years, but as for your concern, I know you're concerned about the how well they do because they haven't pitched in the major leagues, right? That's
yeah,
the real concern. I don't like the Murakami here. He strikes out a lot, right? So and he only plays like a DH first base type of guy, right? So
right. So
if a team is actually like he's a power bat, but he's a swing and miss kind of guy. So you take the good with the bad. But I
yeah,
like Imai to anywhere who he comes in. But my concern is, are they just going to the Dodgers? Because because
yeah.
like you said, they're the farm system, right?
Well, I think it's like before there was always concerns about can they be translated over to Major League Baseball, right? That's always been the concern. Even for some to some degree, even Spanish players, they have can he perform the same way? Um, but I think the organization GMs are licking their chops and saying like we might have the next rookie, we might in Manaka Shohei. Well, Shohei's 1-1, so like, but I think GMs might have that mindset. Like we might have something here. He could be the next star here coming out of Japan. So let's just sign him and take the risk. It's a high risk, high reward kind of system, right? Because what do you do like if it doesn't work out? Well, it kind of worked out for Rookie because he spent 2 months in the AAA rehabbing, and then he came to our playoff roster and just be the closer, right? So,
Well,
anyways, that's
the thing about Japanese players is if you sign them, imagine the publicity that you'll get around Japan, right?
mhm.
That's why
Yeah,
the
it
World
is.
Series was big, right? Because all everyone was watching from over there. So if you sign them, it's gonna be worth it, right? It's just can they perform here, right? That's the question. Can they actually
Yeah.
perform here? So
One player that I am not paying attention, and I really don't care if he stays or goes. It's uh the polar bear Pete Alonso. To me, I'm kind of done with his story. The last 2 years has just been like it's just he wants to stay in New York. It's just an ugly. Seems like they should have been divorced a long time ago, and that's what it kind of seems like. And now one is saying like I had enough. It's like yeah, we know that. It's like you should have been gone a long time ago.
but yeah, like I'm not really sure that we talked about this before. Like signing 3 years, but there's like opt outs. Like
Yeah,
enough with this
exactly.
stuff, and enough with that stuff. And it it only when Pete Alonso said last offseason that he wanted to stay in New York, then the teams were like, why would we even bother signing you to a contract, right? And plus, he's a first baseman, DH type of guy too. I know you have you want that raw power in the middle of the lineup, but it's just like some of the teams they don't have a place for you then. So it's limited.
That's 100% true. Yeah.
Limited teams that would be after him this off season. So I'm not sure where he's going, but he probably would end up with New York Mets still.
Yeah, and it's not like he's a bad player, but he's just kind of like just too much of a headache. Like that's why I feel like it's too much. You're either maybe because you play with the Mets, but it seems you just get a lot of media attention, and I'm just kind of done with that. So
Good thing you have Eldridge and you have Devers now, or
yeah, I
else
love
you yeah,
that. I love that.
or else all the reporters will be like, oh, he's going to San Francisco.
All right, all right. With our last topic around the bases is return to the class of uh, Baseball Hall of Fame class of 2026. There's 12 newcomers with Cole Hamels leading the way. Um, but I think the biggest storyline is this year is 8 players in the contemporary baseball ERA committed ballot. That means after because you can only be on the ballot for 10 years. And after that, there's kind of like a backway system to get into the Hall of Fame. The biggest storyline is that Clements and Bonds, they're no more eligible to be on the regular ballot. So this is, and what is certain is this their way to get into the finally get into the baseball Hall of Fame? Omar, has have they is this their way to get into the Hall of Fame? And has it been like, you know what, you've been humiliated for 10 years, every year this has been a topic. Do we see them finally in the Hall of Fame?
This is an ego type of of thing, right? We know all the writers hated Bonds even when he was playing. So with Clemens, right? Disregard the steroid era, right? But I don't think they're gonna get in. This even with this contemporary one, the writers just have a difficult time letting letting steroid players in the Hall of Fame. But I saw this one when I was reading. You cannot talk baseball without saying Barry Bonds' name, without saying Roger Clemens' name, without saying Manny Ramirez, without saying Alex Rodriguez's name. You cannot tell a story about baseball without those players. So I find it difficult that they're not in, but we're not the voters, right? So
Yeah.
but they should be in my opinion. They should have been in.
Yes, they should have been. Yes, I 100% agree with you. I think they've they've been punished enough, in my opinion. 10 years humiliated because reporters or media like always asking them, people, fans on the market, hey, is this your year to get in, right? I think before and after the Hall of Fame, they, I think they deserve they've been punished enough. That they've been humiliated. That's the way I feel. But at this point, for anybody for the voters are saying like, no, they don't deserve to get in. Is that your only reason now? Because now there's been some in the last 5 years. There's been some players who's been voted in who's been their name has been around this steroid era or been their names been clouded. Is he was he was in those books or letters that all these players were using steroids. So at this point, there's players who have been around steroids or rumors about steroids. So for keeping Bonds and Clements out, or steroids is not a top, it's not an issue no more. So why are you keeping them out? So there has to be other reason other than you just don't like them, and that's not the point because unfortunately you can't like everybody. You can't force everybody to like you. So I think that if those voters were still saying like no, you don't deserve, well, it's on you, man. And you're the one who's making you have a part to play in why baseball has not seen the numbers over the last 20 years.
Yeah, they should have like a comment section on the votes, right? Why do you didn't or you did vote
Yeah.
a player, right?
Unknown at the bottom.
Yeah, no comment.
Okay. Well, I don't want to. That's just my take. Like I think we're in agreement. They should be in already. The fact is, you can't talk about them, right? You can't talk about the early 2000s, late without those two players. Other players who are on this ballot, 8 players says Carlos Delgado, Jeff Kent, Don Mattingly, Del Murphy, Gary Sheffield, Fernando Venezuela, which I think Fernando Venezuela, yes, he only pitched for 8 years, but he has done more to the game, right? He was talking about one of the first Mexican pitchers or Spanish pitchers to dominate the way he did, and he has become an ambassador of baseball ever since the mid '90s. The fact he has done a lot, he has grown the the game of baseball in Spanish countries. They look up to him. The fact is that he's not in the Hall of Fame. It's a shame for the voters.
Yeah, I want to see what the real category of how they're voting here, because Carlos Delgado has the numbers too, so I'm not sure why he's not in yet, but compared to everyone that has been voted in, right? So yeah, I want to see the actual category on why some of the players are left out of the Hall of Fame, but it's it's either here or there anyway. But like, yeah, it's a gray area right now because we don't know what the reasoning is why they're voting or not voting for the
Yeah,
players.
exactly right. The fact so it yeah. Anyways, we can talk here about it, but we'll know more about this. The results will come out December 7th to be a part of the. That's the deadline for this ballot, so we'll see what happens. And that's just 3 weeks away, so we'll see. We'll keep everybody up to date. Uh, well, that is it for Around the Bases. If you like this content, please follow, subscribe, like. It will help our channel grow, and we can bring more content, baseball content to you. Well, let's get into we're talking about the Major League baseball offseason. Let's talk about the A's and I mean A's, Jays and Giants.
Giants, Blue Jays.
Offseason.
I didn't know you move to the A
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
the other side of the bay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, Sacramento is not part of the Bay, so they want to be a part of it, but no, just kidding. Um, well, yeah, I'll start it off. I'll talk about the Giants' needs. Well, not just the Giants' need. The Giants um, have been making some deals, right? So make moving some things. The Giants decided to hire a college coach as their new skipper. This has become a big topic in baseball, like with no professional baseball experience, leading. I think has gone to the College World Series like 8 times or winning twice. But he has become the Tony Belletto has become the topic in California all around baseball. There's a lot of people um, having an opinion about a college coaching coaching pros, and he has a lot of hype, a lot of energy, stuff that you see in high school and college, but that raw does not work in the pros. So Buster Posey is kind of saying like, hey, either he has a new formula or he's going to be a laughing stock as a being a GM. But anyways, that's what we're dealing. I'm excited for it. This might be is one of those moves that it's crazy enough that it might work.
Yep, I
So
like this. I like this hire too. We've seen this with NFL, like
yes,
younger coaches, right? So Tony Vitello, he comes from the college collegiate coaching, right? So I like this fresh mind, like we've been we've been used to like old school stuff, Armando. So but a new
exactly.
fresh brain might work, especially if you have like younger players here, relatively speaking, here with the Giants.
No, I agree with you. Like I like the hire too. Like you have to think outside the box, right? This baseball old head, so like baseball has to be a pure game, and just like all these unwritten rules in baseball. The fact is that Buster Posey is not afraid, right? Like he's been making moves. He traded for Devers. He signed the biggest shortstop there was in the right. Like it's so there he's making moves, and he's not afraid of it, and he's I like it. Um, at the end of the day, baseball is still baseball. The fact is, the Giants have lacked base stealing, um, aggressive running, like hit and run. Those are the stuff that the Giants have not done since their last World Series in 2015. So the fact is that Buster Posey, once again, he's following the old blueprint, starting pitching, base running, situation baseball. And guess what? That is what the college they that's what they do. It's base stealing. It's situation baseball. So Tony, he's known to be a very aggressive coach. So like that's what the Giants need, and that's what the Giants are going after. After
Yeah, and come to think of it, your ballpark there is it's a pitcher friendly ballpark. You gotta manufacture some runs here. We're not living in a Barry Bonds era now, so
exactly right.
you gotta try something new.
And so I think the only thing his raw spirit, like what where he just his energy. I think like they're at the end of the day, there's still like a this. It is a job for the players, so he might run a wrong way to some players. Not every player is going to react the same way, but for those old, young players, it might be what they need, right? So, and right now the Giants are have a mixture of veterans and young, so it will be good uh, for the young players, right? So but we'll see. And I think the biggest that has been the biggest storyline. Also, Logan Webb won a Golden Glove as a pitcher, and back to back Gold Glove gloves for catcher, which I'm Patrick Bailey. So that's good. We're happy for them. That's been that was kind of like because it was a disappointing season. So seeing those two awards, it's kind of like oh man, like it kind of makes the season, the 2025 season, a little bit better, in my opinion. And, and now the biggest needs of the Giants this offseason, it's pitching. The fact is, Logan Webb uh, and your boy Stretchy Pants needs they they need help right now at the moment. This is a two man rotation. The yeah, JT is he's great, but he's a fit starter and he's 40 something years old. He's not the future. They need something. They need a third and a fourth starter. And you might need a fifth starter because in today's baseball, you need a six-man rotation. The fact is the five-man rotation is kind of the in the past. So the Giants need starting pitching,
And who do you
and
think? Who do you think they're targeting? I haven't really like seen any news with who they're targeting, and
no one knows.
there's no other
It's
news. Yeah.
fun. We're just saying starting pitchers. There's the Giants. I think they're going to trade for somebody. That's what the beat reporters are saying, or the news out of San Francisco are saying. Like they're working on the trade. That we have a lot of young players, a lot of top rank players. So they might just bundle a couple players to get somebody out there. Um, Now a lot of people are saying like, well, Scuba is rumored to everybody. I don't like that. Yes, I would like Schoolboy in a Giants uniform. Who wouldn't, right? But the
Yeah.
fact is that the Giants will have to give up the whole farm system to get it. Any team that wants Schoolboy will have to give players in the farm system and players who are playing right now. And that's a big ticket price. And the Giants have never done something like this, so I don't expect them. I'm not getting excited about the rumors because they're just rumors, but I just don't think that Scooble or Paul Skeens, it's just like it's too rich for my blood, right? And so
Yeah.
it's kind of like oh man. That's a really nice jacket, right? Like I wish I could afford one, right? Or you're in the first round of the fantasy football and you see JJ, like, man, I like JJ, but he's just a little too pricey for my blood. He will never be in my roster.
That your analogy is great, but yeah, like you said, every team would love a schoolball, but if you're giving off everything, every player in your farm system just to grab a schoolball, teams would have to remember he's a Scott Boras agent
Yeah.
player. So if you're not sure that you can sign him long term before you're trading for him, then I would stay away from that.
And Giants and the Giants front office and Boras don't have a really good relationship already, so he's definitely not calling Boston to talk about a trade situation here.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Pitching, 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 because this 2026 season is the time for the Giants to go after the AL. No, not AL, NL West, because
Correct.
we don't know what's going on with the Padres. They're not gonna resign Cease. They're not gonna resign Mike King. And who knows? Because they're trying to sell the team to another owner. And the Diamondbacks, they're losing players. Corbin Burns is not gonna be available towards the like and mid season or like
Yeah.
later on,
What an
right?
awful
So
trade.
the, yeah, so the NL West beside the Dodgers is like wide open. So this is the time for Buster Posey to like make a great move and go after the NL
Right.
West.
Exactly. Well, the thing is about free agent, that's how the Dodgers have been winning. It's free agents. The Dodgers, they have won because of the free agent going after players. Like, or making a trade for Mookie Betts. They say like, oh, the Dodgers have a great farm system. Like, no, because none of their players are homegrown. They have their homegrown players are nice pieces to help those stars that they're signing. Shohei, Freeman, Mookie Betts, right? Like all those Blake Snells. Like it's all those players are free agents.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the way
they
that's how you compete against them. You sign those players to you try to keep them away from the Dodgers.
yeah, those Dodger players, they're homegrown by the other teams.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people don't remember. It's like, oh yeah, like no, Mookie Betts was in Boston, and they're still living with that regret of trading him. Like yeah, it's funny. Anyways, Giants need to be active in the free agents because um, even because they just haven't been able to sign um, players over the 10 or 13 year mark. They just kind of like no, like okay, Giants like their bargain deals. They've always have it, but I think that you have to be able to sign players if you want to compete in today's baseball.
Yeah, with the signing of Adames and with the signing of
Mhm.
Chapman, the Giants had been like I'm not sure what's going on with San Francisco that players are reluctant to sign there. But with Adames and Chapman signing in there, maybe you'll get a traction with the pre ages there because you mentioned this during this the season that you still need an outfielder, right? But I'm not sure if the Giants are looking out for like a Cody Bellinger or a Kyle Tucker type of player, but
Right.
who knows, right?
Yeah, who knows? But like our last year signing, oh, the last 2 year signings were Chapman, Adames, and Rafi. Those are kind of like the you can build around that team, right? There's a great players, uh, um, players, other players want to play with those type of players, right? So they're baseball heads, and so I think those type of players will attract other players to come to San Francisco, right? So, but right now, it started pitching in the second baseman. What are they going to do with the second baseman? So, um, yeah. So I think those are the big signings. We just need starting pitchers, and at this moment, there's no news. There's no other rumors other than I saw rumors of Scuba, but I just like I don't think that's gonna happen. But
Talking about second baseman, there's like two that pop out of my head. Would the Giants be signing Bobby Shed, or are they gonna be willing to call the Rangers front office for Corey Seager?
yeah, who knows? But you know, the Seager, it's a good thing you said that because Bruce Bochy is an assistant to the assistant GM, right? So maybe there's a connection with Bochy and the Rangers that can a deal can be made. So I don't know about Bobichet. I hope he stays in Toronto. Once again, building from that momentum. I just I just don't see them parting ways. I know it's been rough the last couple of years, trying to work out a contract and unhappy from both sides. But I just think you saw you saw what Vlad and Bobashik finally did, right? So they finally went to the World Series. They were just so close, and you have to run it back. You have to come in an agreement with Bo. So as much as I don't want to go there. I was like, oh, the Giants will be great. Like, no, I think he should be staying. So I think the Giants should look somewhere else, in my opinion. So
Yeah, he's from California, Bobby said. That's why he's been
yeah,
linked with the San Francisco Giants during the season, right?
yeah,
So
that is
that's
true.
why I
Yeah,
was like, well, when you mentioned that, because he's been like he's been talked about moving to second base, right? So,
hmm
but we shall see, right? Because you mentioned second base, that's why I brought it up.
yeah. So no, that's great. Like if yeah, and if Boba Shea is available, um, that means that the Jason and Boba Shea parties are not in agreement. So hopefully it doesn't come to that. But anyways, that's it for the Giants update. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Armando. This is your Blue Jays update from this offseason. This offseason for any team, like you said, Armando, um, if you're a legit contender and you want to be a contender, you have to like sign or like trade for players to keep that momentum going. If you need bats, if you need impact, this is the year to spend because next year's free agent class is basically a wasteland, Armando. For the Blue Jays, priority number one is obvious. We mentioned this. Get Bo signed, lock him up. But if it turns into a bidding war, and the numbers get completely out of control. We know this can happen, Armando. I can honestly see the Jays pivoting away from it. So and yeah, we keep hearing same big names pop up every offseason. First it was
Yeah,
Otani, then the Soto, then the Roki Sasaki. Now it's Kyle Tucker. It gets exhausting at this point, Armando. Until I see pen on
yeah.
paper. I'm not I'm not getting too excited about it.
Until you see the
So
plan line, line.
I know every Instagram post, get out of here. Like I'm not even getting excited about it. So the real area they need to attack is a starting rotation. Like for your Giants, they need a horsepower here. I can see them adding a mid to upper tier arm in free agency, Armando. Someone like a Ranger Suarez or a Framber Valdez, and then swinging a trade for a legit front end ace. I'm think of it of like a Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins, or
Yes.
Freddie Peralta from the Brewers, the type of guy who instantly pushes Gossman and Savage down the depth charts. I like those moves, but the Jays are being linked to Edwin Diaz, which would
Mm.
be a massive upgrade
I
at a
heard that
closer.
too.
But
Yes, actually, yeah,
yeah, but he wants 5 years and 100 million. I'm never a fan of giving relievers that kind of contract, Armando. Even as
yeah,
elite as Edwin Diaz. This front office knows they can't run it back with the same way, but they need to be aggressive with this offseason. But yeah, I like Edwin Diaz, but not for that much money, right? So, but that's your Blue Jays updates. But yeah, I can see them. I can see the Blue Jays signing either Framber Valdez off the Astros or Ranger Suarez, and then trading for um an ace type of pitcher.
Yeah, I heard about the Diaz to the Jays, and that would be a great move. Yes, I agree with you. 30 million for a closer, it's a little too much, right? But it might be the going rate. But yeah, I think that you can get other ones for the type of same numbers. You can get someone else for a lot less, or maybe turn in a starting pitcher into a closer role, right? So. Um, Dylan Cease is the name that I've been hearing about with the for the Jays. Is that true? Are you hearing the same thing,
Yep.
or it's just
I've
rumors?
heard that. I've heard that too. I like Cease has a he had a down year.
Hmm.
He had like 4.52. Don't quote
Yeah,
me
he
on
had
it,
a
but it was
yeah,
like a yeah. It was like he was around that for ERA, but he still has that stuff, right? Like swing and
yeah,
miss stuff, and that's what you need on the front, like at a front end type of guy, right? So, if the Jays either sign a Framber or a Ranger Suarez, then Dylan Cease won't be there. But if Dylan Cease comes in, I think the Jays will look at mid tier starting rotations, right? So
right,
yeah, it's either or. It's either or right now, but there's no definite definite reports now that okay, the Jays are really looking into these players, but it's just like rumors right now. But like I said, I really love Ranger Suarez. Like they needed a lefty. So either a Ranger Suarez or Framber Valdez, that'll be great for them.
yeah.
And
Well,
Framber Valdez is a ground ball pitcher, so it'll work for AL East type of pitcher.
right. So no, that'd be great. But obviously, starting pitchers uh, are hot commodities. So it, he those owners have to open those checkbooks, those pockets if they want that type of starting pitcher, right? So we'll see.
Yeah,
But I
but
think
but but
when
but but the but the Jays got a lot. The Blue Jays management got a lot of money from the World Series. Like
yeah,
we all know they have extra money, right? The fans will be
put
like,
it back on the
if they
field,
don't,
guys.
if they don't spend money this off season, all the fans will be like, what did we pay for that World Series run then?
Yeah. It's
That
kind of
we
like
we got
Moneyball. Like Billy
yeah.
Bean likes to keep all the money on the field. Pay for your own food.
I gotta transfer my subscription to Rogers then, right?
Yeah, exactly. well, well, that's
Yeah, and
gonna be
so
great. We'll follow up. We'll follow the Jays and Giants off season to see what they end up doing. So
yeah, that's it. That's what the Jays need and the Giants need. And, like everyone's gotta be looking for starting pitchers. So
yeah,
either trades or either free agency. That's what gonna roll out anyway. So yeah, that is it for this week's episode of Saturday Sliders. Like Armando said, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, be sure to leave us a 5-star review. We'll be back after the winter meetings to break down all the major signings and trades. Thanks again for watching, for being with us on Saturday Sliders.
see you.